Just thought I'd show this. It's an absolute work of art inside. I've had to take the boiler off, which comes off with one screw in the centre there, and it just pushes back and pulls up. I mean, even the boiler is a work of art. It's amazing. It's like a metal boiler of all plastic and metal parts. But you've got a drive shaft. You've got two-wheel drive on a tender. The motor there. And it uplinks, downlinks the drive system from that motor onto a spiral gear, and then goes through a drive shaft system. There's a drive shaft system. It's disconnected at the moment. Transfers the power downwards then through that gearbox, and that gearbox capping had came off slightly. It wasn't, the drive wasn't engaging properly on reverse, and that transfers the power onto the rest of all the boiler wheels. And while I had it off, I was always wondering why I couldn't get a smoke generator in there, because it's got a cap. You've got to pull the cap off. Take the boiler off, pull the cap off to get to the pre-installed acceptance for a smoke generator there. It's just a stunning model. The way they've done it, absolutely amazing. So I'm going to put it all back together now, and hopefully it should work fine. But inserting the new pins were quite tricky. You have to get the wheels perfectly lined up, and to get the pin into the holes, I use a bit of tacky wax it's called. Put that on the end of a coffee stick, and it enabled me to manipulate and get the pin in just where I wanted it, and then I pressed the rest of the pin in with a tweezer. Well, that's been really tricky to do. Well, I've spent a couple of hours now doing this. I've got it all completely put back together again, except for the tender casing. Yeah, so the capping came off on the downward drive shaft casing in the boiler. That's why it won't move forwards and backwards properly, but the rest of it's alright. The linkages are alright. Got such a precision model. Yeah, it really is a stunner, this one. Just glad I got it working now. Beautiful. So what can go on these on these models are the drive shafts, a knuckle on the drive shaft, the prop shaft, and a knuckle where the prop shaft goes into the knuckle. Those are the two items that can break, which I've got spares for this model now. And other than that, you just got to really handle these locos extremely carefully, because they're full of tons of detail, and with having the drive shafts, which you can see spinning away there, it just makes working on the loco really difficult. But it all comes apart. The tender comes off easily enough, the boiler comes off dead easy. It really is a pleasure to work on, the way it's made. It's made to go come apart and go back again dead easy, as long as you know you're careful and you study the parts and study the instructions. Let's turn the sound on. Got to put a speaker back on now. Check the lights. Lights are working. So check the forward running lights. Yep, they're working. Put it all back together now. Just thought I'd show the innards of that anyway, because it is a really interesting model.